A young man and an old man and an ancient work of art. A moment, a point in time when overlapping generations and overlapping interests combined with hard work and a sweet dream to make something wonderful, something that both old and young will carry with them till the end. It started here at Evergreen Health in Redmond at an ear, nose, and throat specialist 3 years ago. George Sage went in for a checkup. Sarah Impari was the nurse.
Hello. And then we got to chatting because I like talking to people and he likes talking to people. Have you had your hearing checked?
Then I told her about, working on the Model A's and stuff. Asked her to, bring the kids out and see the cars. And so she did.
Sarah's son Samuel visited that day and by all accounts was mesmerized. George Sage is an inventor and an engineer. He has an amazing workshop and he's just wild about 1929 Fords, the Model A.
My knees are new. My hip's been replaced. I've got a stent in my heart, Botox on my face. I've got cataract surgery and my teeth are gold. The rest of me is 91 years old.
Yeah. He noticed something about his new 14-year-old friend. Samuel's brand of curiosity reminded him of someone, himself.
You can tell when people ask questions if they're interested. Samuel started asking questions about the connecting rods, the valves, and the camshaft. Now, he didn't know the nomenclature, but he was asking, what does this do? What does this do,
I was kind of just interested in the engineering behind it and what I could do to kind of learn more about it.
George had an engine on hand, and he made a deal.
I told him, I'll give you that engine if you'll take it apart and put it back together. He said, okay.
It was the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Sam took it apart and put it back together, and he started showing up at George's shop after school and on weekends.
I thought he was a pretty interesting guy. I mean, who gets to meet a guy as old as the car?
There are lots of people like George who are in love with the Model A Ford. They even have a club, the Model A Ford Club of America. One of the club members found a frame in Utah and bought it for Samuel. Something amazing happened. A kind of Pony Express was formed. Model A enthusiasts would pick up the frame and drive it a few hours and then hand it off to another. And then another. It went 900 miles in 3 days. The club presented Samuel with the frame at a picnic.
I think everyone in the club is intrigued that I'm part of it because they're like, oh, well, if we can get this young guy in, then we can get more young people. He might pull even more young people into this world of Model A's.
So they had a frame and an engine. One day, they fired up that engine for the first time.
Oh my goodness! It worked! It's alive!
With the help of his parents, Samuel was able to buy a Model A body. The two of them went to work.
What we really should do before we put the body on is get the shock absorbers on.
I just want a car, like a cool, kind of antique car that I get to say yeah, that's my car, I built it. It's kind of a sentimental thing.
The Model A Ford Club of America helped out financially with a Youth Restoration Award, and one day in January they got the body back from the painter. Mom was there taking pictures.
Looking good.
Samuel showed up after rowing practice.
I just wasn't really expecting the color. I didn't think it was gonna turn out this nice. That's the thing. I think the best way to describe George is kind of like your teacher, your professor. He can tell you everything about the world, and you kind of grow this this joy because you get to come every day and just be soak in all the information he can give to you.
And on it went, this project, this car.
Now when you fasten the hot wire, it won't spark.
this bridge between generations, between an old man's knowledge and a young man's desire to know.
Some of these off.
Mentor, mentee, grandpa, grandson, friends.
But we might be able to.
It's a super cool experience. You get to learn about kind of like the old America and see where, like the technology and like the leaps and bounds like society has had over just like less than a century. I want to learn about what did I miss and what kind of things could I do to further like my knowledge and engineering. It's like you have to go back in time to move forward in time.
And so a couple days ago, overlapping generations and overlapping interests blended into a single moment. Samuel, an old soul if there ever was one, started up his beautiful 1929 Model A Ford, his car, the one he built with a friend. And then slowly, he drove it down the road. And as it pulled away, it looked like a sweet dream come true. Like America's past and its future, it looked like something that an old man and a young man will carry with them till the end.